This week in games, Activision Blizzard gets sued again. Monster Energy has beef with Pokemon. Resident Evil 4 adds microtransactions, and we review the Mario Brothers movie. This is the Two Penny Gamescast. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 142. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host. Say hello to the people, Connor Elliott.
Hello, people. It's another Sunday, huh?
It's
a normal Sunday.
It's another Sunday, another normal Sunday. We're recording a little later right now, just because I just got back to my apartment, went and visited some family for Easter. Connor, how are you doing this week?
Good. I just got some ham, some honeyed ham. So
oh, honey ham is so good.
Eating my fill for right now.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, honey ham is delicious. I love that. I'm jealous of you right now because I don't even know if I'm gonna eat again for the rest of the night. I'm so full. I had a big lunch.
Yeah, I figured you would. Who'd you have it with? Was
my girlfriend.
Your mom. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you go somewhere?
We just went to OC Burgers. You ever been to OC Burgers?
Ah, yeah.
It was my first time there. I had a double mushroom Swiss burger. You know how I like my mushroom Swiss? It was really good. I thought it was quite quality. So shout out to OC Burgers. But ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, this show comes to you every Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time, youtube.com/@2pennygames, and every mainstream podcast service you can think of. So make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all of that, and please share it with a friend or over on Twitter. And tag us over at @2 Penny Games over on Twitter. We're out there for your entertainment. Follow us on TikTok and Twitch, both 2 Penny Games, just spelled out regularly. And over on Twitch, you can see us live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Central Time, twitch.tv/2pennygames, in which our good buddy Phil, who will be coming on a little later to review the Mario movie alongside me, goes live every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Central Time. And you can also find new episodes of The Piggy Bank over at youtube.com/@2pennygames every Saturday. The last one that just went up is a fun little game where we're guessing Metacritic scores once again. So please hop on over there, give that episode some love. But you are here for the new news you need to know concerning the video game industry. Me and Connor each come to you with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and then we give you our 2 cents on them. So, Connor, let's hop right into it. Jumping into our first story of the day, let's drop some cents on them. Activision Blizzard is being sued by the U.S. Justice Department for suppressing esports wages. This is your first penny of the day, so why don't you go ahead and take it away for us here?
Gotta freshen up my throat.
Oh yeah, get it clear.
But this is an article from VGC, Video Game Chronicle. Activision Blizzard sued by U.S. Justice Department for suppressing esports wages. Update. Settlement reached in the dispute over Call of Duty and Overwatch League salaries. Activision Blizzard has been sued by the U.S. Justice Department for alleged antitrust violations related to its esports business. In a civil lawsuit filed on Monday, the Justice Department claimed rules imposed by Activision Blizzard have limited competition for players in its Overwatch and Call of Duty professional esports leagues and suppressed player wages. The complaint, which was filed in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, accuses Activision and the independently owned teams in its esports league of implementing a, quote, competitive balance tax designed to penalize teams if player compensation exceeded a threshold set by the game maker. And an update shortly followed, which was the Justice Department has reportedly agreed to a settlement with Activision Blizzard. A spokesperson for the game publisher provided VGC with the following statement. Activision Blizzard, quote, Activision Blizzard Esports is committed to being a leader in the esports industry and creating opportunities for players to earn fair pay and benefits. When we launched the Overwatch and Call of Duty leagues, we wanted to create viable career opportunities for the players requiring minimum salaries and mandatory benefits as part of player contracts. As a league, we also wanted our products to be competitive, so we carefully designed and implemented the competitive balance tax. Quote, "We have always believed and still believe that the competitive balance tax was lawful, and it did not have any adverse impact on player salaries. The tax was never levied, and the leagues voluntarily dropped it from our rules in 2021. We remain committed to a player ecosystem with fair pay and healthcare and continue to have the least restrictive player mobility compensation system across all of the major sports leagues." Then they basically just go on to...
Yeah. So, we got caught up with some wages not being correct, and then we settled it in court. So, debatably, more or less happier ending than others. But Activision Blizzard was on their bullshit, and now it looks like they figured it out.
Yeah, it's disappointing because, obviously Activision Blizzard is known for not being a good company. All in all, I think it's the nicest way of saying it. So it was kind of exciting for a moment to be like, oh, they're going to have some kind of blowback somewhere and actually take a loss in some regard. And it is good to see that they won, but it kind of just amounts to, doesn't really change anything. It's just one of those things that was kind of rectified on its own. And even though that's a good thing, it's kind of hollow given everything that had come out about Activision Blizzard up until this point. That's like the best victory that we get on any of these fronts.
Right. So they've reached a settlement, but I failed to see in this what the settlement was, or is that just not out yet? We believe that
I think it's maybe been out of court settlement. I mean, it's just
okay. Gotcha.
Not something that would be public knowledge yet,
or
ever.
All right, so some money got greased, or some wheels got greased, some money got transferred over, and here we are at the end of it. So, yeah, a little bit of a, okay, all right, this happened, but, still noteworthy nonetheless. Activision Blizzard just... was there anybody you weren't screwing over? Like, was there anybody who wasn't getting their fair due in this company, besides the Bobby Kodaks of the world? Which was disgusting, so... at least it got put to light. So, we're out here, slowly making small improvements over time. It's just, change is slow, always has been.
And Activision Blizzard keeps on churning. And it seems like they're going to be purchased by Microsoft after all, from what we're seeing. So, again, maybe that'll have some kind of better effect than letting them off and do their own thing.
Yeah, that's the UK more or less dropping their anti-competitive stance against Microsoft. I believe we covered that. Was it last week or the week before or something like that?
It was last week.
Last week feels right, but the way we record these, Connor, and it just so much happens in between each episode that I just forget sometimes. So yeah, go check that out for all of our coverage on that. But just another sort of knot in the bow of the Activision Blizzard story. So, Connor, let's move on to our second story of the day. My first penny of the day, Insider Gaming, Tom Henderson says exclusive Sony's next PlayStation handheld. And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all right now, take that with a grain of salt and a bit of an asterisk. So, covering the story, here we go. Following days of speculation, Insider Gaming can report that there's a new PlayStation handheld in development. Codenamed the Q Lite, the next PlayStation handheld is the next piece of Sony hardware that aims to be yet another piece of hardware that requires the PlayStation 5. Insider Gaming understands that the Q Lite is not a cloud streaming device, but instead uses remote play with the PlayStation 5, a feature the console giant has been pushing these past couple of weeks. And by past couple of weeks, they mean like there's like a trailer on the YouTube channel. Like, it's not really that serious. Sporting adaptive streaming up to 1080p and 60 FPS, the new device will require constant connectivity to the internet. As for the console's physical features, early prototypes show the console will look a lot like a PlayStation 5 controller, but with a massive 8-inch LCD touchscreen in the center. The device sports adaptive triggers for haptic feedback and will include what you would come to expect from a handheld: volume buttons, speakers, an input jack, etc. Insider Gaming understands that the Q Lite is in its QA phase and is scheduled to release before the PlayStation 5 Pro and the detachable disk drive PS5. As previously mentioned by Insider Gaming Jeff Grubb, Sony is planning to announce its second phase of the PS5, which was in reference to its future game slate. Ironically, though, this second phase is very much true for Sony's hardware offerings, with the detachable disc drive PlayStation 5 Project Nomad wireless earphones, Project Voyager wireless headset, and Q-Lite handheld all scheduled release within a very short period. It's understood that the PlayStation 5 Pro is aiming for a holiday 2024 release. So, whenever Sony's next PlayStation showcase will be, it's seemingly going to be a big one. Connor, it's quite generous calling this a handheld, right?
What do you mean? No, what do you mean?
Like, this is more of just like an accessory. Here's like a little like thing you can have to remote play to your PlayStation 5 whenever you want. It's just an updated... It's like not even a PlayStation Vita. It's just like an updated remote play function outside of the PlayStation Vita. Because let me tell you what, it's a pain in the ass to run remote play on the PS Vita. But you can do it on your phone. Like, your phone, like, you can use remote play with your phone. So, like, if you have like an iPhone, you can just get a backbone and do remote play on there. So who's asking for this? Like, this is not what we want, Sony.
This is the future, you understand?
Oh, okay.
It is what the next... Yeah, any single time there's a new thing that's made, it's just the first step in the next process. Whatever new thing we're going to get. But in all seriousness dropped aside, all funny business dropped aside, the most interesting thing about this that I think I may have forgotten about it, but the detachable disk drive? They're making that?
Oh, yeah, that's a thing. I think we covered it on the show or something. Yeah, it's... if I were to guess... What's going to happen, Connor, is they're going to plan out... All of this is probably going to be in the showcase. That's hitting sometime this late spring, early summer. And what I'm going to guess is that they announce all of these hardware accessories, and maybe they announce a PS5 Pro, but I feel like you would want to keep that one like sort of under wraps for a little while until you're closer to release. But maybe there's like a PlayStation 5 Slim, or they're pulling back on giving us the PlayStation 5 $500 version that comes with the disc drive, and they're just going to have the digital versions only, just to be able to kind of crank them out a little faster. And whoever wants a disc drive can get a disc drive for like an extra $100 or something like that. So like they're really just like broadening the scope of accessories. Like, what do you want to personalize your PlayStation experience, as opposed to like giving us an actual new handheld, or having a definitive like all-in-one type of console. They're just like, yeah, let's give you different specs, different SKUs of these things, so that like manufacturing can be a little easier on our end, and we can kind of sort of nickel and dime you for whatever you want in the future. So, yeah, okay, cool, nice. A little machine with dual senses attached to it because you learned something from the Nintendo Switch. Good for you, Sony. And but it only does remote play, which is okay, cool. Just another like thing that is added with a price tag of $500. Like, and how expensive is this going to be? Like, because I'm not paying any more than $200 for this thing. First of all, I'm not paying for this thing, but I wouldn't do any more than $200 because who's asking for this? Who uses remote play? Now, I understand the hardcore PlayStation fans say that remote play is good now. It's really solid way to play games if you're on the go, and as long as both your devices are connected to Wi-Fi. It works out for a lot of people. But again, most people just use their cell phones for that type of functionality. And so to charge us $200, $250, for just another way to do that it's ridiculous to me.
Well, I'm just going to buy the detachable disc drive, though.
Connor, you have a PlayStation with a disc drive in it.
I'm going to buy it for you.
I don't want... Why?
Because you can start buying games on disc, Tavin.
Why would I do that? I have so many things that take up so much space already, Connor. I don't need another thing.
I know. I don't care. I'll force it onto you. That's the point. Because it's a gift. You can't exactly do anything away. Like, you can return it, I guess. But will you go
sell it on eBay for $50?
Well, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, right. So, but like, what all of this says to me is PlayStation 5 Pros probably will not have disc drives.
That would make sense if they're trying to do some big new thing with it. Because I mean, what do you think they're gonna do with the Pro? Just besides being a better running version of the PS5.
Yeah, I think the most it could do is instead of having to pick between, you know how in most games now you pick between performance or resolution, and some games have like a middle ground. But the only thing I can imagine is that a PS5 Pro won't make you choose. Like you can just have everything set to max. But again,
That would make sense.
like that's not worth spending another $500 on because if there is a ray tracing / performance mode where the game runs at 60 FPS, has 1080p. I think some games even offer like an up-resed like 4K, but not exactly 4K, and then like some limited ray tracing, like that's all you need. Like, I'll be honest, like at that point, like who cares? Now, if you haven't purchased a PlayStation 5 yet, then yeah, I could see that being useful. But for guys like you and me who already have PS5s, it's not like with the PlayStation 4. Like the PS4 to PS4 Pro was jumping to 60 frames a second, jumping to 1080p up-resed 4K, that type of stuff. From the 720s and from the 30 FPSs, which, should have been at launch. So yeah, I just don't see a necessity for any of these things. Now, a PlayStation branded wireless headphones or earphones and stuff, cute. All right, I'll take those. That sounds nice. But yeah, this detachable disc drive, sure, I guess if you want it, like why not? If I ever want to start buying physical games again, which I can't see myself ever wanting to do, I could envision myself, yeah, here's $100, here's $150, give me the disc drive, but like, yeah, this Q Lite, this handheld, in quotations handheld device, I don't see a need for it, and I just don't know why you would waste your time with this. Maybe it's just that people want a handheld version to play their PlayStation games, but we don't want to invest fully into a handheld version of a PS5. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's very strange to me. Or maybe it's just because they don't want their first-party developers to have to develop for multiple SKUs on top of the fact that they already have to develop for the base console and the Pro version of most consoles. Like it's more work for them. So why develop for a handheld that you can take anywhere? Like that's then more work for their studios. And Sony already prides themselves on high fidelity, well performing, cinematic, mind boggling experiences, as opposed to say an Xbox where they're like, hey, play whatever you want wherever you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see in the near future when they add all these nice little functions to the PS5 Pro, and if anything will come of this. I mean, before release date, which says it seems like that's when it's gonna be dropping, but who really knows?
Yeah. So I imagine a lot of these things will probably come this year and will be announced at the PlayStation Showcase. And then again, like a PS5 Pro, I would wait until next year for that. I would not be in a rush to announce when that's coming out, because why announce something and then have to wait a year or a year and a half to put it out in terms of hardware? That doesn't make sense. And then you just have a bunch of people scratching their heads going, why are you talking about this now? So yeah, it's just not a necessary thing to do. But we will find out come late May, early June. And ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're going to figure out some scheduling stuff for that whole what was E3 season and is now Summer Games Fest season. We're going to have reactions. We're going to have reactions and reviews and all of that coming. Just what form that takes place, we're not quite sure yet. So keep an ear out for all of that.
We'll decide when we get there.
Yeah, when we get a little closer. Well, Connor, unfortunately, we don't do this full time, so we have to communicate well in advance in order to take off work so that we can do these things.
At least my spring's gonna be over. It won't be won't be shackled.
There you
as
go.
Much, so
there you
that's
go.
Nice.
Moving on. Well, and then also, I gotta get that reaction off to this Metal Gear Solid 3 remake whenever that shows up, wherever that shows up. I gotta be there. You know what I'm saying?
You won't let certain things go, won't we, Tavin?
It's coming, Connor. It's coming.
You say it is, but
I want it.
They're just gonna have hijacked that Metal Gear Solid 1 remake instead, and you're gonna like it, but it's not gonna be 3. You're gonna lose out on that.
Maybe.
That's possible. Guess we'll find out in a couple months.
Connor, moving on to our third topic of the day and my second penny of the day. Resident Evil 4 has added microtransactions. Okay, sure. So coming straight off the news that Resident Evil 4 has sold 4 million copies within its first 24 hours or first weekend or whatever, making it the fastest selling Resident Evil title to date. Congratulations to Resident Evil and the team over at Capcom for that. You can catch our Resident Evil 4 review on the channel now, youtube.com/@2pennygames, where both me and Connor sat down and played it. Connor, do you have updated impressions of Resident Evil 4? Because you were relatively early back then. Where are you at in your experience with it now?
Well, I finished it. So I don't think I actually ever mentioned that on the podcast. I know I did it to you, but...
You mentioned that you were close on Piggy Bank.
Okay, well, I completed it. And, as you had pointed out to me, it was the same kind of slope of enjoyment that the original game had, where it, started really high with the village, and then when the castle segment came up, went a little bit more down, the island, a little bit more down, but it was not in any big way at all. So I consistently enjoyed my playthrough experience. At a certain point, I kind of just got in the rhythm of the game, and it wasn't giving me the same amount of joy as it was for the first, little more than a third of the game. But then that came back near the end when I knew my time was coming, and I looked back and I was like, oh, this is all just a really solid package through and through, and I still think it's the best of the Resident Evils that I played. Well, maybe with the challenge being 5, because man, that game still
holds a special place in both of our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
It ranks way higher on both of our lists than it should probably. But
oh yeah,
that's us. But Connor, let's get into the news. So this is a Kotaku article from Ashley Barden. Resident Evil 4 Remake adds free fan favorite DLC paid weapon upgrades. So, the Resident Evil 4 Remake released its free The Mercenaries DLC, a reimagined original game mode that lets players take on enemy flocks in timed challenges, along with a perhaps less welcome addition: microtransactions. You can now purchase weapon-exclusive upgrade tickets, which provide access to a quote, a weapon's exclusive upgrade at any time, regardless of the weapon's level. You can also trade for them by swapping with the merchant 30 spinal gems for 1 fast pass ticket and 40 spinals for a second. But the DLC version offers, quote, not only that, but once unlocked, the upgrade itself is free of charge. The Steam description continues. How generous. An exclusive upgrade in RE4's case refers to a weapon's unique final upgrade. The brain-blasting Striker Shotgun's exclusive upgrade, for example, doubles its ammo capacity, and the serrated combat knife gets a 1.5 times increase in its attack speed. You typically unlock these by fulfilling all of the weapon's upgrades and then purchasing the last one, the exclusive, with a heap of pestas, which is the in-game currency for that. But Resident Evil 4's new microtransactions let you cut corners on already cut corners with real money, offering those merchant tickets in sets of 1 for $3, 3 for $7, and 5 for $10. There are multiple sets of the 1s and 3s too, so you could theoretically buy an upgrade for every single weapon you use in the game. These weapon tickets are not limited to the Mercenaries DLC, which you can download now for an arcade-style slaughterhouse challenge. They will be, quote, available across all your saved data, their Steam descriptions say. And then some editorializing down there at the bottom. So we are going to do plenty of that on our own. And listen, is this necessary? No. Is anybody asking for this? I don't think so. But I guess, all right, sure. If you want to monetize Resident Evil 4 in this weird way, sure, go ahead and do it. Will somebody buy it? I'm 1,000% positive somebody will spend $10 just to get the upgraded weapon for the Mercenaries DLC or whatever. If you gotta do it, I guess this is a way you can do it. Does it?
No, Tavin, you don't got to do it. You don't got to do it. You're just a worse gamer who sucks at playing video games so badly.
I meant the company of Capcom.
Oh, you see, they can do with it as they please because it's not an online game. They don't have any obligation to balance things because you're playing by yourself. It's a single player game, so it's all the onus for once. Usually, this is never the case. Is on the gamers. If you choose to buy it, you're basically like selling a piece of your soul as a gamer.
I mean, like I pity like
Pity.
I don't know,
See,
the
pity.
single dad who's got 2 jobs and like just wants to play his game and not be, not get his ass kicked by it or something. Like I can appreciate that perspective. But like it's really not that hard to just get the money in it. Like it's really not.
Tavin, they can play on easy if it's too difficult for them and they want to get through it. They know
That's a
that
good point.
The reason why they don't just do that is because that's a greater source of shame. So they see this come up and they go, oh well, I can just buy for my victory, and it's I didn't have to go on easy. I'm not an easy player.
Connor, from tackling it from a different perspective, one that I know you personally care so much about, it does allow you to get to the platinum trophy much faster. Upgrade all those weapons faster, kill enemies faster, get to the end faster. You know what I'm saying?
All right, that's the one defense. I'll give that defense because you're already like wasting your time as a platinum gamer, so you might as well not waste any more than you already are. If you can cut corners, you might as well cut the corners.
Sure, sure. Like, okay, why not? Why not? But like, it's really not that hard to get that much money for all of the guns. It's really not. Like, the game gives you a lot of gems and stuff. And, just like, I started my second playthrough this last week, and I've almost fully upgraded all of the weapons that I use in my inventory regularly. And so now it's just a matter of just upgrading the ones that are in my storage that are just sitting there. And I'm like, all right, like I'm not even through the village segment yet, and I'm closing in on maxing them all out. So like, I mean, just play the game and play it smart, and you're gonna be okay, But
right,
sure, Capcom, if you want to monetize RE4 just a little more, I guess more power to you. It's not intrusive. It's not, as you said, there's no multiplayer, especially no PvP multiplayer. So there's no like pay to winning there. But yeah, if you want to cut corners, I guess. But who's doing this? I don't know. I'm not.
There are people out there. They live.
God, Connor, do you know how badly I want them to add co-op to the Mercenaries mode? I want them to do it so badly.
That'd be cool.
That'd be so cool.
They had co-op in Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries mode, didn't they?
Well, yeah, because Resident Evil 5 is all co-op, so you need co-op in that,
Yeah, that's true. It's probably way easier. Never mind.
Yeah. But, like, I mean, Mercenaries existed in Resident Evil 3 and in Resident Evil 4 before that, and it was just a single-player time attack, score attack mode, So, cool. Connor, are you going to be playing any of the Mercenaries DLC at all? Because I probably won't.
It looks cool, but no. Ultimately, that's just not really something I'm interested in doing. Though it is cool to see the gameplay on Kruger. Him fighting and being able to dash while he's fighting, and then growing claw arms that he does later in the game.
Krauser.
Close,
yeah, but not quite.
That's cool, but not for me.
Yeah, I agree. If there's not a trophy tied to it, I'm cool. I get a good enough gameplay experience from the actual game itself. And though I think this is the most fun Resident Evil game to play, well, second most fun Resident Evil game to play, it's not fun enough to make me go, oh, I just need that hook of gameplay, like we're not talking like a Hades or something or
every
Sekiro,
super massive game, Well, Sekiro, due to the lack of diversity in builds, it doesn't have as much replayability as some of the other core titles in From Software's catalog.
Sounds like someone's just not good enough. Just can't get through. You can't get through those boss rush modes, can you, Connor? You can't.
I never actually did those. I never did those, so I can't say that I did.
They're hard. They're really hard. Anyways, and they give you a lot like in your favor. Like you can get your revives back and all of that, but it's hard stuff. Anyways, that's a conversation for another time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our final topic of the day. Connor, your second topic, and one that I don't think anybody was predicting, Monster Energy is suing Pokemon. So go ahead and jump straight into this for me, my friend.
Well, we have this article from Nintendo Soup. Good old Yo Writer. Nice Yo Writer.
Shout out Yo Writer.
Random. Monster Energy targets Pokemon Company, Capcom, and others over Monster trademark. Drink brand Monster Energy has been filing a number of trademark lawsuits against gaming companies for using the word, quote, monster in their titles. According to Japanese outlet Automaton, Monster Energy has filed over 100 complaints against various companies for using the word monster, including against Pokemon games and Capcom Monster Hunter franchise. Although these companies are consistently denied, the most recently filed complaint was in November 2022, meaning that Monster has continued to apply this strategy to, quote, protect their brand up until this day. Outside of Japan, the 2020 indie game, Dark Deception, Monsters and Mortals, was also recently targeted in a lawsuit. Monster Energy has gained somewhat of a reputation for copyright trolling in this manner, claiming that other companies use the word monster in their title will cause product confusion for their consumers. Monster Energy presumably prefers to target video game companies in particular for these trademark disputes due to its own ties to the industry. So this is going to fail.
Yeah.
Going up against Nintendo for, frankly, a stupid argument. And Nintendo for the word monster. It's ridiculous. Just on its face, it is.
I mean, yeah, I'm right there with you. This is gonna get thrown out, I would assume, pretty quickly because it's just not gonna it's not gonna be a problem. Monster Energy drink. Nobody's gonna be confused because Pocket Monsters and Monster Energy like use the word monster. Like it's just not gonna happen. Yeah, I think that's all there is to say. They're doing this, and you know it's silly that they're doing it. I'm sure in their head they're like, oh, we have to set a precedent. We have to go after all of these things. And let's be honest, man, nobody's getting confused, but. And nobody is thinking that there's any like type of crossover branded thing. Maybe they got a letter in the mail from some mom who's confused and didn't like a video game that their kid played and emailed Monster headquarters instead of, you know, the game developer themselves or something. I don't know. And it made them feel like they needed to do this. This is ridiculous and really just really funny when you think about it.
Well, you see, Monster Energy, at the end of the day, this is very commonly forgotten. They're satanic in nature. So, really, any action that they take is, you know, automatically considered evil. You guys know what I'm talking about. They may try to hide it, but we know.
What are you talking about?
The claw marks on the Monster Energy can? Do you not know what that? Do you know what that means?
Is that the devil?
Oh, look it up online. You'll see some pretty credible sources talking about that symbol right there. I guarantee you.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it, friend.
You better.
So, just a little funny one to leave us off on, ladies and gentlemen. Connor, you're the best, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the news. But don't go anywhere just yet. We are about to jump into our Super Mario Brothers movie review. We're going to bring Phil in here with us. He saw it. I saw it. Connor, did you see it?
No.
What? Connor, you didn't see movie of the year, Super Mario Brothers?
Well, unfortunately, I was going to. And then I realized that I had to go to the movie theater to watch it because my other methods weren't viable at the moment.
Oh my God.
Now, this would make, not really be a problem because I know watching movies by yourself is a weird thing.
It's not a weird thing. Just go to the movie theater.
Exactly. It's considered a weird thing. But yeah, I have done it before and I would have no problem doing it for any other movie that is not a children's movie. And I was not going to be caught in a theater with children as a grown man. I'm not like Phil, who went to a cool 21 plus showing. I'm not going to subject myself to that awkwardness.
Absolutely ridiculous mindset to have, Connor. But that's fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're bouncing right into our Super Mario review now. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to another Two-Penny Gamescast review. This time, the Super Mario Brothers movie, a rare review appearance, that being of a
2023
on this one. 2023, that one, right? I'm your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and fellow Mario lover, Phil Shoemaker. Say hello to the people.
God, I love mustache Italians.
They're just they're just so handsome. You know what I mean?
Especially when they're jumping around.
They have such big hands. I don't know if you noticed that, but the brothers in this movie, they got big hands. Big hands.
Oh, yeah.
Brothers. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Phil and I both saw the Mario Brothers movie this last weekend, and we're here to give you our thoughts on it. I guess we'll just start this like any normal review where I'll go and you go, and then we'll talk about it a little more in depth.
Sure.
We didn't talk about it beforehand, really, but I guess we'll do like a little bit of a spoiler talk near the end. But I don't know if there's really that much to really talk about, a couple of cool moments that we want to throw out there and probably some moments that we'd rather didn't happen. Yeah, let's go right into it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, my thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers movie is that it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a good time. I think definitely worth price of admission. If you have kids, you need to go see this movie because it's better than a lot of the other god-awful things you'll watch with your children. So, you'll walk out and be like, you know what? That was fun. It was a kid's movie. It wasn't the best time in the world, but it was far from the worst time in the world. It's one that I don't think you'll like regret showing your kids and then like eventually love to or have to like play it on the TV 100 times a day every day, just because it's varied enough, it's fun enough, and one song in particular has been stuck in my head ever since I saw this movie. And Phil, I'm sure you know the one.
Because me and Ash have been singing the same song.
Yeah.
Today even.
And it's just the one melody, right? It's just the one little, yeah. Anyways, but speaking of which, to get into some of the details there, the music is the standout part of this movie. All of it's fantastic, from the main Mario themes and music that you love to listen to, all the way down to the new original music that's in the movie. There are moments of licensed music throughout this movie, just sprinkled throughout, not a whole lot, and none of them I thought used to really great effect, and honestly a lot of very generic picks that I was like, all right, cool, whatever. It's animated beautifully, and it's super well animated. Like, it looks beautiful, and also just like the way the characters move is awesome. And if you're a Mario fan, so many Easter eggs in this movie, like just chock full of them. Like, I don't think there's something you could add in terms of Easter eggs like to it, because it's so full of love and care for the most part. Surprisingly, Chris Pratt, I thought, did a fantastic job in this movie. I thought he was great. Lovable.
Far from the worst part of the movie.
Oh, far from the worst part of the movie.
Far from the worst.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it was a great pick, and I'm very, very happy with his performance, and I would love to see him do more of this. On the other hand, probably my least favorite performance was that of Princess Peach with Anna Taylor-Joy.
Oh, really?
Boring. So boring. Oh. I loved the character of Peach. The character was awesome. I love what they did with her. They didn't make her the helpless princess like she is in the game or whatever. She had some great, strong moments, but every line was delivered so flat and so, God, I'm going to sleep right now just thinking about it. Like, it was just trash. Everyone else, I, for the most part, liked. There was some other side character stuff that I wasn't like super into, but like, I'm not expecting world-class acting from a movie like this. But overall, this movie is good. It's fun. Is it going to blow your skirt up? No, it's very kiddie. A lot of the plot is very basic and boring, and honestly, in some parts, not very well told. But at the end of the movie, especially in the third act, it makes you feel. And you do have an emotional reaction, a positive emotional reaction to the game, to the movie. And yeah, by the end of the movie, I was smiling and I was having a great time, and I was very happy. And more jokes landed than not. Not all of them were like bust gut laughing. Quite a few of them were just like, just like a little chuckle.
Just exhale out of your nose.
Yeah, you got like it was funny, but it wasn't like making me laugh. But some of them were legit. Like, I was rolling on the floor, not literally rolling on the floor, but I was really like out loud laughing really hard at some of the jokes.
Movie theaters are dirty. No one's expecting you to actually roll on the floor.
No. It's horrendous floors in the movie theater, especially the one we went to. Phil, what did you think of the Super Mario Brothers movie?
I really, really like this movie.
Lovely.
Like you said, music is the big standout of this movie. I did see on Twitter that apparently there are over 100 songs that were referenced in this movie.
Wow.
In some way, shape, or form.
I believe it.
And yeah, absolutely. That song, fucking, oh man, God, I just want to jump right into Jack Black, the star.
Let's wait just a little bit. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'll dial it back.
Yeah.
Music. So you got the main theme. You got underground, all that good stuff. Everything was used phenomenally. I'll go into another thing, that music. I don't think that you would have gotten this reference, but the bit where they're all rocking out, that's a song from Bowser's Fury, and Super Mario, where Bowser's a big old fucking kaiju basically in the game.
Okay.
Like that like heavy
I
metal.
don't specifically remember this scene, but we'll talk about
You
it
don't
later.
remember? Okay.
Yeah.
I was straight out of that. I like, there's many times where I leaned over to Ash and I was like, hey, so that's a reference to this, and that's what this is. I was that guy. I was the soy Jack.
I really wanted to, but I was with my mom, and I was like, I can't
okay.
do this. She's gonna be like, shut up.
Yeah, right. God damn. Yeah, what a great movie. I think, like Tavin said, it's not going to be one of those things. It's varied enough to where you're not going to be like, if your kids do want to play this on repeat, you're not going to be super annoyed by it, you know. I like you said also, there are much worse things, especially from Illumination, who I don't associate with the best kids movies.
This is one of their better ones, but
Yeah,
you know, it
for
is
sure.
an Illumination movie at the end of the day. You're not getting
Yes,
Pixar level
very
quality.
fast paced, very not as pure comedy as a lot of their stuff is. Because like, when you think pure comedy, you think just joke after joke after joke after joke, rapid fire. And of course, there is some of that, but it's not the entire runtime. And like you said, a lot of the jokes, a good amount of the jokes did land, and upon varying results. I really liked the I think this movie does a good job of not overstaying its welcome. In that right, I think that's. I mean, you might find a different draw a different meaning from what I say when I say it's well paced.
Okay.
Right, I just mean like I mean like nothing stays. We don't stay on anything for too long. Like Mario obviously is not a story based franchise, so you don't have to really think about like character moments in that. And when we do get some of those, they're just enough for me. You know, like I don't. No, I'm not trying to listen to the entire backstory of Mario and Luigi as kids. I'm not trying to see how they grew up in Brooklyn and all that stuff. You know, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to see Mario. I'm here to see the Mushroom Kingdom. I'm here to see Bowser. I'm here to see the Kongs. You know, I'm here for all that good stuff. So talking about voice cast, I think Mario, once again, like I said, is far from the worst part of this movie. Chris Pratt's Mario. And I think to that effect, I think he's on the same level for me. I thought I would like Charlie Day's Luigi a lot more. He's kind of just on the same level of Chris Pratt's Mario for me.
Oh, okay.
I thought I would like Charlie Day's Luigi like way more up here compared to like how I went into like Mario here, Luigi here. They're a lot closer to me. I still prefer Charlie Day's Luigi over Chris Pratt's Mario.
I was gonna say Luigi was probably the standout character for me.
Really?
I loved Luigi in this movie, but I'm a Luigi fan. I went with my I have a Luigi hat that I don't have with me right now, but I have a Luigi hat, and I was wearing that to the movie. It was a good time.
I think worst for me, when you said Anya Taylor-Joy, that was surprising to me. Worst for me, and was just straight up distracting, was Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong.
Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong I was okay with, but Cranky Kong was awful.
Oh, yeah.
Cranky
with,
Kong was really
Fred Armisen. Yeah, Fred Armisen's
but Donkey Kong, I mean, it is Seth Rogen, but it played well enough for me.
Oh my god, it was just so distracting. Just literally, the joke when he was on screen was just his laugh. Just Seth Rogen's
when he
laugh.
did the Seth Rogen laugh, I was a little like, all right, that's Seth Rogen. But
and he does it multiple times.
But there were other moments that I was like, he's doing a fine job there. Like,
okay.
You know, some of the more like emotional moments, quote unquote, I was like, this is fine. Yeah, that's Donkey Kong. Like, I was able to forget that it was Seth Rogen for moments of the film.
I appreciate that we're able to disagree, because I would hate to live in an echo chamber. So I'll say agree to disagree there. I was not a fan particularly of Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong.
The thing about me is that everybody was fun and entertaining, and it seemed like everybody was on the same page of like, let's have fun. Except for Anna Taylor-Joy. She was like, let me just play this super serious. And Anna Taylor-Joy is a great actor. a phenomenal actor. You know, she's been in a lot of great stuff, but I just don't know if this was the right fit for her because she's a bit of a serious actor. You know, she's like one of them like artiste type motherfuckers, and I just don't know if Super Mario Brothers was the right pick for her. She like when you think fun on screen, you don't think of Anna Taylor-Joy, but you know, get your names off, I guess. You know, have fun in your kids' animated movie.
Hollywood
I'm sure it was a pretty penny that they paid you for this role, but
for sure.
Yeah, just every time she delivered a line, and I'm not gonna say she didn't try because it did feel like she tried. I just don't think it was a good fit.
Just didn't land for you.
No, not at all. Very flat to me, and I was like, all right, can we get her off?
All right. Yeah, like you said earlier, the animation in this movie is fucking phenomenal. Wow, everything looks great. I wish we saw more of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
I think I found that part lacking a little bit. I also wish I knew how more things interconnected. Like they talk about, so I mean, we'll get into more 3D stuff later.
Worlds.
Yeah. I wish I knew how stuff more
I wish I saw more of other worlds.
Yeah.
You know, and I guess maybe you could save that for a sequel or whatever, because this movie is getting a sequel. But
got that Yoshi egg. Egg.
Spoilers.
No.
But I mean,
how pumped were you? How pumped were you whenever they're like doing that walking montage and you saw all those Yoshis in the background?
Oh, I was very excited about that.
I was like, oh, Yoshis!
I was like, look at that. All right, let's just go ahead and start talking about moments here. But overall, Phil, is this worth price of admission, movie theater ticket price, all that?
Definitely,
stuff? Yeah,
definitely.
Bring the family to this.
Yeah, absolutely, without a doubt. When you think of like fun Mario being put on a screen, this is pretty much what you get. You know, like it's better than what I was expecting. I was expecting it. I was expecting this movie to probably be not great. See, I had a lot more fun than I was trepidatious going into the movie, but I was very pleasantly surprised.
I feel that. I think this movie, the movie also probably was higher than my expectations, but not by much. This is about the level of quality I was expecting. I think just my personal enjoyment, I'm surprised of how much I personally enjoyed this movie. Like, I will watch this movie again at some point.
Absolutely. Just to try to catch more of the references.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what, like, as someone who has played a good handful of Mario games, like, this was very satisfying to watch as
that's another
game.
thing. Another thing that I forgot to mention is they're not just Mario references. They're like entire Nintendo references.
Yeah,
that's like the best part.
100%. Yeah. So, also I forgot to mention the themes in this movie actually worked for me, surprisingly. Like, you know,
disappointing your father.
The main theme of the did you say disappointing your father?
That resonated with you?
Fuck you. Totally gloss on it. No, but like the main theme of the movie I thought was really good and really hit. But let's go ahead and let's jump into some spoiler talk here, Phil. Let's go ahead and get it going.
Not a spoiler. Everyone was expecting it. Jack Black is the highlight of this movie.
Oh yeah, Jack Black's great. Peaches, 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 peaches. That's
peaches.
Dude, it is infecting my TikTok timeline right now, and I'm loving it every single time.
I love like the day after he released the live version.
Yeah,
of him
that was
doing
awesome.
It. Yeah.
And then I'll say when I eventually upload this review to TikTok, it's gonna have that sound on it because it's trending right now. So I'm gonna try and get some views off of that. But yeah, Jack Black was great. I'm surprised how much you didn't like Donkey Kong. It doesn't surprise. Well, I guess it doesn't surprise me that like you were low on Donkey Kong, but like to be like, oh, this is terrible. Like I'm like, oh wow, really?
It took me out of it every single time. Every single time.
Yeah, but I mean, I really liked when Donkey Kong and Mario get eaten by the whale or whatever it was. The scene that they had.
That part works for me. It's just whenever it's mainly just the Seth Rogen laugh that just takes me out of it.
That did take me out because it only happened once, right?
No, it was like 3 times.
Oh, really? I only remember it once. Yeah, because there was one time where they just straight up just had him laugh, and I was like,
as the joke.
Yeah,
like that's the worst part
in the Smash Brother-esque scene.
Oh man,
cute. I liked, of course, like Mario Kart's all over. Oh god, when Toad pulled up in his cart. Oh my god, I laughed so hard at that. That was hilarious. Yeah. Toad was a favorite for my mom. Mom loved Toad.
Scene.
What was that?
I love that whole cart building scene.
Oh yeah, and the fact that they used the actual wheel scrolls from Mario Kart 8 was dope.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic.
it was really dope. Like there was a lot of really it was a lot of care put into this movie. And yeah, God, every time a musical theme popped up, I was like, this is great. Every time.
I did want to also say I saw this somewhere. I didn't get to see the video comparison, but on Twitter they were saying that apparently there was first drafts of a lot of the scenes where they had licensed music, where they didn't use licensed music, and a lot of people were saying it was better. Like they used like other themes from the games, and they worked those in. But I didn't get to actually see the videos before they got taken down because obviously like they're not gonna just keep it up because copyright and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do wish there was less licensed music in this movie.
I mean, there's only 3, so it's not like that much, but it's so, or I guess there's 4 actually now that I think about it. But it's just so prominent, and none of them worked for me, with the exception, I did like Thunderstruck. Like that one when they're pulling up in the car building. Yeah, that worked for me. Everything else did not. This is
like Take on Me. Like
Take on Me was
weird.
So weird. Why was it there? I really like. I would be totally fine if I never hear "I Need a Hero" in a movie ever again. Like, oh my God, I do not.
Everyone's just trying to bite Shrek 2's shit, you know.
But it's just like, stop. Also, unironically, that song is in I think 3 different movies right now.
Right now,
it's in Mario. It's in Shazam 2. There's another one.
You're thinking with your Tim Geddes brain right here,
dude.
That's what he was saying.
Why? Like it was offensively like generic. I was like, oh my God, we're really doing this right now? Why can't we just build out a hero theme using the Mario music or something, you know? Yeah. But yeah, the theme of brotherhood really worked for me in this movie.
Yep.
I really, really appreciated it. The connection of Mario and Luigi in this movie was great. I think in the next movie,
it resonated with you as somebody without a brother.
With no brother, yeah. But I think in the next movie, it should just be the Mario and Luigi show. Like we don't need everybody. Like just give me Mario and Luigi going out and having, because they had enough charisma and chemistry together that it just, every scene that the two of them were in together worked.
I just thought of this right now. Sequel. We fight Wario and Waluigi.
Oh,
that's
we
the
do
dynamic.
some evil twins stuff. Yeah.
It's Mario and Luigi versus Wario and Waluigi.
That would be good. That would be cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then, like,
I mean, at some point we need a Luigi's Mansion something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they're gonna do like the flashlight on the face and like maybe see ghosts in that first bit where Luigi's in, like, this is what Ash said. I'm not repeating.
I was waiting for it, but it never came, and I was like, really? It's kind of just right there, but they used Shy Guys instead, and I was like, all right, I'll take a Shy Guy.
As soon as the Shy Guy showed up, he was wow. I fucking died. It was so good. I love all of the Mario enemy noises.
Oh yeah, that was great. It was. And I was really surprised how much of the humor works in this movie. Like,
why they gotta disrespect the Spinies though? He was like, those things. He was like, they're Spinies.
I did. That was one of the few
Spinies.
moments I leaned over to my mom and I was like, they're called Spinies. Because it's just something I had in my head and like stored.
Why they gotta be rude to Spinies? They were so sad.
Nobody knows what the Spinies are called. It's just the little turtle things with the spikes.
Oh, everyone knows Spinies.
No.
If you're a Mario fan, you know Spinies. Come on. What do you think Lakitu drops on you?
Turtles with spikes.
No.
I think more people would call them like Spikies or something than Spideys. Like those are deeper cut characters.
I wish we saw Lakitu. We didn't see Lakitu anywhere.
We didn't see Lakitu. I did pop pretty hard for that. You mentioned it earlier, but the Yoshi herd running through, I did pop pretty hard for that.
Straight out of Melee, dude.
Yeah,
Straight
no, it was dope. I was like, hey, it's just like that scene.
Fucking, like, imagine like some funny bit where like it's just Lakitu's the one holding the camera and like it just like moves, like something like hits the camera and then it moves onto him or something. It'd be funny.
Surprisingly, what worked for me the most what worked for me the most in the movie was the beginning and the end. The first act and the third act really worked. That second act was really like, oof, okay, all right. We are moving at a breakneck pace and just having scene after scene after scene, and none of them seem related to the main plot.
That was I know you don't really, the most you've, I think you never really watched South Park before, like your TikTok feed turned into South Park.
No,
South
not
Park,
really,
right?
no.
So Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the way they like come at storytelling is they don't do and then. They do because and like so they say that if something happens where it's and then, you're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I felt that middle part was very much, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens.
I walked out of the movie and feeling like, how is your runtime an hour and 30 minutes and you have filler? Like, how did that happen? And I really think if we had like cut some of that and extended some scenes and flushed out some different things that were going on, like it really would have benefited that. I could have used more Donkey Kong having problems with his father type
with his
thing,
dad,
and like actually building that out and seeing it. I mean, like it's there to like the connective tissue is fine, but yeah, I could have used more of it. And honestly, I'll be honest, guys, I could have used more Mario in New York City just hanging out. Like I was having a good time in New York City. I was like, wow, this is actually really fun and funny, and I like the family dynamics. One thing, this might be a little controversial. Big family. This is them Italians, man. Yeah. This might be a little controversial to say. I'm glad they hired Chris Pratt over Charles Martinet, because hearing that Mario voice for an hour and a half would have been grating.
I like the little nod they gave to him.
They gave him in the movie. They gave him Jumpman. I forget the character name of that, but you got to play and that's where he does the Mario voice. But he also does Mario's dad. And I thought
he really?
He does, yeah. And I always love whenever you give an original actor the parent of the character. I love that.
Talking Ellie from Last of Us.
Ellie from Last of Us being the mother of Ellie. You know, Ashley Johnson is the mother of Ellie. Charles Martinet is the father of Mario. I just love that dynamic.
I did not know that. I cannot believe I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm shocked that it didn't hit your radar. But yeah, he's because I was looking for it, because in my head while I was watching the movie, I was like, okay, yeah, we got the little guy with the thing or whatever as like a little background character, but that didn't like sit right with me as just that. I was like, I kind of wish he had a little more. But at the same time, I remember them saying Charles Martinet plays multiple characters, and I was like,
I don't remember seeing that.
As the movie was progressing, I was sitting there, I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, I'm not hearing him anywhere else. I bet he was dad. And then sure enough, credits start rolling, and there he is with the dad and the other one that we already mentioned. And I was like, that's great. That's good. I love that. The joke about Mario not loving and eating mushrooms was strange,
overstated.
But it was entertaining, but it was strange. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I mean,
it's like, yeah, we get it. You don't like mushrooms, but he's like the mushroom eater guy. Yeah, I get it. Funny.
Yeah. I liked the dog scene. Like, it was fun, but it did feel like it felt like it was taken out of another Illumination movie and put into this one. Like, it was like straight up like what is the Kevin Hart Secret Life of Pets like scene?
Yes. Very much.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, this is happening. But did you see the visual callback of Luigi holding the mirror back and holding the water back, and then he's holding the manhole back in the fire?
Yep,
I was like,
that's right.
I was like, you motherfuckers were cooking. Y'all were cooking in this movie, and you had 3 good ideas, and those 3 good ideas got you about 30 minutes of screen time, and you needed.
I can't remember the words, but it hit home in that scene where he's holding the manhole. He goes, "Is it we're invincible when we're together, or something?" I can't remember what.
Or we can do anything when we're together, or something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
Or like we're unstoppable together, or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that really worked, and oh my god, dude, when they ran after that star before they even hit it, I was singing. Yep.
As soon as it hit,
dude, it hit. Oh my god, it hit! It was it was
so cool.
The music was awesome in this movie.
Yeah, that whole thing of them like getting all powered up and then going through all super powered and fucking punching shit, and
then they hit the run from the new Super Mario Brothers games.
Yep, the fucking like little wings on the side. Very cute.
That was great. A lot of great, like so many great callbacks and references and so forth that like you can just pull from so many different games and so forth.
In the obstacle course scene, when he's like jumping on the bullet bills, he does like the little flips and stuff when he's doing multiple jumps.
Oh yes, he does. Yeah. Also the first scene, the first time that they turn the camera sideways, so it's like a platformer, it's 1-1.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it's like, this is cool. I mean, it's like edited down, but it's there, and I'm like, this is cool. There's a lot of love here. Like, there really is a lot of love here. It's just that
you're talking when it ends with him doing the flag, right?
Yeah. It was good. I was joyous. I was like, look at that.
It's awesome. It's just awesome, dude.
It was a weird choice to have Mario in his little Iron Man moment of like chasing or having the bullet bill chase him and stuff. But to make the choice to send it to New York and blow up New York, I was like, what are you doing there, Mario? What's going on?
No, because I don't think he sent it to New York.
That's the pipe that goes to New York. Like, is the one he
because I thought the pipe shifted. I thought they shifted.
That
around.
was the one. No, that was it.
I thought it was like the ladders from the stairs from Hogwarts.
No. No.
Okay.
It's just the pipes are what they are, and I was just very confused as to why they do that. It's also weird to kick the bullet in the eye. I was like, all right, I guess you could do that. Sure.
I love that it was just totally ignoring him until that happened, and then you just looked at him.
Yeah. And it it was good of like having the little flag bend, and that was some good. There's a lot of good physical humor in this. A lot of good sound. In general.
Shout out to Mayor Pauline.
I missed that.
You didn't see Mayor Pauline?
I don't know if I did.
She was like talking about it's like towards the beginning before they go to Mushroom Kingdom. She's like, we're getting this whole situation fixed with the flood. It was Pauline.
Oh yeah, I missed that. Wow, yeah. Okay, interesting. That's good. In New York, that's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of like New York is actually New Donk, but
Yeah, but like
they're not going to say New Donk City.
I don't know why they wouldn't say New Donk City.
Because I think they want it to still keep with like the whole New York Italian
yeah.
Sure, they also in the commercial they talk about like Queens and Brooklyn and all that.
Got you. Yeah. The their commercial is great with the Super Mario Brothers rap.
Fantastic.
I love that they added the voices doing the exaggerated accents and stuff.
Yes.
Of like the Mario accents and stuff, just to give us a taste of like what that would have sounded like, and just like here you go, but we're not doing that, because it's gonna be annoying, so like let's pull that back.
Yep. Of course, it was already talked about on Twitter when they released that cinematic bit. The voice of the lady in that one is the Peach from Mario Brothers Super Show.
Oh, that's cute.
Yep.
Oh, I like that. But then like of course like the like having the when they're like looking like they're flying, and I like that it's the yellow cape.
Yep,
they're just like planking on stools, and you can see the green screen light on them and stuff. And I'm like, this is really smart and funny,
man.
and like that's something that only you're gonna get if you understand production on any level or something,
I thought it was very weird that they just made Spike a guy. He's just a regular guy. Spike is one of the enemies from I think one of the original 2D Marios.
Oh, okay. He's just a guy. Okay.
He's like a little turtle guy.
One thing that I was like, all right, I guess that works. Is the blue shell dude? Like going like shedding
blue shell.
I was like, okay, I guess you can do it that way.
But,
it was weird. I was like, all right, that's a little odd, but okay. But yeah, I mean, like, just the way that they turned everything from the games and gave it some lore and gave it some story and gave it, like, just explored things. And, like, the way it respects fans is really quite commendable. Like, they don't go left and they don't take it and, like, here's just, like, a random thing that happens in the game. Let's take it and make it our own thing. It goes, no, this is how it works in the game, so we're going to make it work in the game, and then just, like, incorporate it into the plot in a way that makes sense. So I really appreciated all the stuff like that. Rainbow Road was a really fun set piece. I thought I had a lot of fun watching
that was another thing I was going to talk about, like with how I wish I knew how things interconnected more with like where like Rainbow Road. I want to see where everything like connects with Rainbow Road and how everything connects with the pipes and all that good stuff.
I wish we had seen more kingdoms. Like I wanted to go to the Desert Kingdom. I wanted to go to more of the haunted kingdoms and stuff.
Where was Sarasa Land for Daisy? Where's Daisy at?
Or like, why didn't we spend any? I mean, we kind of got it in the travel montage, but like we didn't spend any time in the sky really. And I was like, all right, or like no real ice time outside of the cold open.
I just wish the cold open.
Yeah.
I wish we had more kind of like. Maybe not as quick as it was in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, but like how they go through the different worlds. How if we had seen that with
I felt that's what we got.
I feel like we didn't get. I feel like we should have gotten more.
Like moving through the desert and moving through the canyons and all of that. That's how I felt. Because remember, it's a very short thing in Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
That happens. So.
Right.
But I mean, overall, man, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was it's another good like feather in the cap of video game adaptations that we've had in recent years. I think we're on an upswing, and it's only getting better, and it's only going to get better. This is one of the better kids movies in terms of video game adaptations that we've had in recent years. Like, I think the only one that was better than this was Sonic 2. But this one is more faithful to Mario. It commits more to the world of Mario than either of the Sonic movies do.
Well, that's just because Sonic has to juggle like real life people and Sonic and all that.
Yeah, but I think we all would have preferred if Sonic committed to being Sonic.
Yeah.
And just being a fully CG animated world and so forth. So like the fact that we have to juggle the real world stuff, I think was a mistake from the jump. And it shows, but because we did it that way, we have to commit it to that. So I think in terms of like being an adaptation, this is better. But in terms of being a movie, I did like Sonic 2 more. But other than that, like your Detective Pikachu's, your Sonic 1s, your Ratchet and Clanks, this one tops all of those in my mind.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, but there was a tweet where someone was like, people looking at the, because this is like the biggest animated movie opening in history.
Yeah.
It was like the meme that people take from the episode of SpongeBob where it's all different SpongeBob's running around his head like setting things on fire, and it's animation studios trying to get the rights from Nintendo for A Legend of Zelda.
I mean, you would assume it's just all going to be Illumination now at this point, right? Like,
I don't know.
Who else is going to do it? Like, I don't know. But I mean, you get a Zelda movie out, maybe you do a Metroid. Who knows?
Those are the big two that stick out to me.
Yeah. I mean, a Donkey Kong spin-off movie I think is a must.
Yeah. I didn't even mention. I loved got another pop for me was Diddy, fucking Dixie, and also Chunky Kong all being there.
I didn't like the call out by name of Diddy Kong.
I didn't like it either.
That was a little too on the nose.
If it was just him still singing and then like they didn't call him, they just kind of like he just like kind of looked around and was like,
yeah. Yeah,
okay.
you do the awkward like one guy is still applauding or singing or whatever.
Rather than having to hear more Cranky Kong.
Yeah. Yes. God, Cranky Kong was so bad in this.
It was a rare miss from Fred Armisen. Rare miss. He's
I mean, maybe
guy.
it was just like a casting problem. Like they just put him in the wrong role. Like he didn't sound old. He didn't sound like a Cranky Kong. He just kind of sounded like a guy. And I don't know. Yeah. I don't know Fred like that. So I don't So
he's SNL funny man.
All right, cool. But yeah, it didn't really work in this movie for me. But it was just those two of Fred Armisen and Anna Taylor-Joy just did not work for me at all. Seth Rogen was fine. It was fine. It was Seth Rogen. When you think of like a Donkey Kong voice, Seth Rogen's not off the mark. Like just in terms of a natural voice like that. Yeah, all right. I'd probably like it to be a little deeper, but it'd be nice if he tried to do a voice.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier that like Toad was like a standout for your mom. I was like, yeah, I like Keegan-Michael Key in this. He was good.
I like Toad. Toad was cute. I like the Luma Star. The Luma Star was funny.
Very funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked all of that. But yeah, I think just really all the side characters and ancillary characters I really did enjoy quite a bit. I was shocked they didn't like promote Toad to the army and like made
Captain
him
Toad
and called him Captain Toad. I'm shocked they didn't do that.
I would have loved a name job for Captain Toad.
It would have been really, really good. But yeah, I had an absolute blast with this movie, and I'm excited for more, and I'm excited to see it again. Not that I'm gonna go back to theaters to see it. No, I'm cool, but when it hits the Netflix, when it hits the Disney Plus or whatever,
whatever
sure,
streaming thing,
go ahead.
Did you notice the R-wing that was on his TV stand? The little Star Fox reference. Yeah, there was an R-wing, like a little statue.
Star Fox is another one we gotta have. And you get I don't know 3 or 4 deep. Yeah, and then give us that Super Smash.
My thing. Oh, dude.
Yeah,
fucking
it's gotta
master
come.
hand in there.
It's gotta come.
Fucking. I totally forgot what I was gonna say. You threw me off with that awesome Smash Brothers idea.
I can't wait, man. Yeah, man. You just need a Zelda. You need a Star Fox.
Yeah, make a Metroid movie without making it too much like Alien.
I mean, it would be like a comedy, like it'd be like a kids comedy movie, like
with Metroid.
Think of
I'll be scared.
Think of the sci-fi shooter game segment that's ripping off Halo from Wreck-It Ralph. Yeah.
Okay.
like that. But
I don't know if I mean, if you can do it, do it. But I don't see Metroid being played off as a comedy.
I mean, you would just have to just like build out the language of the visual language and the visual tone of Nintendo movies. I think. I mean, like I would like to play around with tone, but like, especially if we want all these toys to play together, you know, like they would all kind of have to be the same. And
For Smash,
we're making kids movies here. Like, what are we gonna do? You know.
Fair enough.
I would just like them to punch up the story a little bit, you know.
Punch up.
Yeah. Oh, it was so great. And all the different poses he hit of like all the different games. Because sometimes he was the classic one and sometimes he was one from one of the other ones or whatever.
I'll have to watch again, but I really would have liked to see some fluid.
Yeah, get us some Flood. That would be nice. Like some Cappy maybe. I'm surprised we didn't get a Cap with wings.
Dude,
from
fucking
64.
the Odyssey top hat that Bowser had and the fucking piranha plant.
Yeah, they straight up gave Bowser his Odyssey outfit. That was awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just excited to see more from, and I want them to do more in the universe. I just really want more Nintendo properties out there. Like I would personally much rather.
How is it taking this long?
Well, yeah, you had to wait for the right time, and this is now is the right time. But like now, it's just like sure, make a sequel. Yeah, you're gonna make a sequel, make it. But like, I'd much rather see us start building to Smash before I'd like a sequel. You know. But I'm sure we're gonna get a sequel first. Like, you know, we're gonna get. I don't even know. I mean, Zelda's next, right? Like, Zelda would have to be next.
I think that's gotta be the next route.
Yeah,
there's no question.
But still fun. Yeah. Especially because Zelda just so easily fits into the formula.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
we're going on an adventure. There's an ultimate evil. We got to save another princess or whatever, and. You know, Zelda is an easier character to translate into a strong female character than even Princess Peach is, and they did a great job with the character of Peach in this movie. I thought she was fantastic. When she brought out that ice flower, I was not expecting that. That was sick as hell.
Yeah,
and all the choreography and fighting in there was really dope. Anyways, Phil, anything else you want to get out there in the Super Mario Brothers movie that we have not covered yet?
There's just so much. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to call it because there's just too much. I think we're running a little long in the tooth here.
there's just so many great moments where you go, I felt like
I've been doing that for the past 10 minutes.
I felt like Leonardo DiCaprio in the theater, the meme from Once Upon a Time where he just pointing at everything. I'm probably gonna put that in the thumbnail. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our Super Mario Brothers movie review. Thank you so much for watching and listening along. Let us know down in the comments what you felt about the Super Mario Brothers movie and what you would like to see next coming from Nintendo animation movies and so forth like that. Remember, you can catch us every Monday, 8 a.m. Central Time, youtube.com/@2pennygames with the 2penny Gamescast with me and my good buddy Connor Elliott. You can catch us live over at twitch.tv/2pennygames, where at least every Tuesday, Phil goes live at 2 p.m. Central Time and plays whatever his heart fancies at the time. And follow us on TikTok and Twitter. At the number 2 Penny Games for Twitter. On TikTok, it's spelled out like it is everywhere else. And until next time, have a great time. Phil, go ahead and say goodbye to the people.
Yeah, and make sure you tell Phil you like his new glasses. Oh, thanks, Tavin. Thanks. Appreciate that.